Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. No music. We'll be a little bit more, corporate on this video. But anyway, we're here today. I have a special guest, friend of mine who I have known for years. I'm talking about damn near 25 years. I've been knowing this brother. Shit, I mean, I met him real young, obviously. Uh, Me and him used to do ministry back in college. Good brother, man. Man of God. You know, I know his wife, his kids. Good brother, man. Um, he's smart, brilliant. This is about his third, fourth time being on my channel. We've talked about all different types of subjects, different things like that. Me and him always have good, deep conversation. I love to hang out with this brother, but now I live like damn near an hour away from him. So, you know, I come over there, but I be like rushing, like I came over there to pick up my Jag. Yeah, so I had to come get it. I was just riding straight back. I crossed my mind to get off the highway, but I said, man, I'm in a rush today. But yeah. So when I get a chance, me and him, we like to hang out, go different places all over Atlanta. When he get a chance, we break free, we have fun, we dip out through the city. So this is my role partner. Uh, First of all, let me say this brother, what you about to hear, this is a gift. This is a genius brother you guys are about to listen to. Intelligent. He probably don't like me to say that. I think he's highly intelligent. You're going to see in a second. Real polished, smooth brother, uh, built for corporate America. I think that he has a gift for this thing. Like it just oozes out his veins. Very successful, smart, high earning brother. Been in IT. Just about everything I seen him touch, he's dominated. Everything from coding, development, anything he touches, he succeeds at. Um, his kids are geniuses, smart. Just basically what you want to be in a man. You know what I'm saying? Just a man's man, masculine, everything. I'm just trying to think. You know what I'm saying, of what I could sum this brother up as. Smart brother, man. And what you see, what you think is real. What you see is what you actually get. As far as his intestinal fortitude, different things like that, I've seen this brother overcome some obstacles, financial stuff, and dig his way out the hole. We all go through that in our 20s, So when he was younger, but he didn't climbed out, he handling his business, has handled his business, takes care of his situation as a man. He's a great, smart, sharp Salesforce developer. This brother can do all types of stuff. As far as development, he started actually when he learned. I think he was doing C++ in college because he was in Tuskegee with me when I was there, and then he decided to transfer to. I think he went to marketing, but he still knew that C++. Got a job, I think, messing around with a company out of college that we knew through church, and he worked with them for a while, developing. I think it was some sort of coding, C# or something close to that. He was doing that. Then he became an IT recruiter. After dabbling with insurance and stuff like that, he became a recruiter, and he was doing real well with that for years. Got this when he moved to Atlanta, was making over six figures doing that, and then he decided to go into Salesforce. First, he got the cert, and he's not like me. He actually enjoys this. Me, I rather do something else, man. I rather but I think he really enjoys what he does. He decided to go into Salesforce, left being a recruiter, which I thought was risky, but it really wasn't because he already kind of knew what he's talking about. And he probably didn't. I know him, he didn't leave for under 100. So he probably at least treaded water close to it anyway. And then now he's been doing it for years. He's a Salesforce guy. He's actually taught or really mentored some people in Salesforce already. So I think all of my students are in for a treat. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Brother Sean. What's up, man? You there? You muted. Hello?
Oh. Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on?
What's up, bro? What's up with
you? Can you hear me there?
Hello? Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Hey, what's going on?
I hear you. Can you hear me? should have.
Can you hear
I
me?
should have
Hello?
tested.
Yeah,
I should have tested the sound in the background. See if he. I think he
I
got it.
don't. I can't hear you for some reason. Let me look at my settings here.
Okay. All right.
Test 1, 2.
I hear you. I hear you testing. I hear you testing everything. I hear it. So I guess he's still testing his sound, but yeah. So he dropped off. I guess he'll come back. But let me go ahead and start by saying this: Lifting the Veil, we will be offering a Salesforce um, app builder certification starting on the what day is that? The 25th. I'll be getting back from Orlando that day, but on the 25th of this month, we'll be starting Salesforce certification class. The Salesforce class, I'm gonna let him tell you about the times and stuff like that. Can you hear me now? I hear you. I hear a little noise in the back. You there? Hello.
Hello, hello. Testing.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me? Dang, man, I should have tested the done sound. Usually when people come on, they can just click and
Okay.
jump right up. I
I'm
guess he.
going to try to do this on my laptop instead of what I'm using. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I
All right.
can't hear you at all, so let me do it that way. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
All right. Yeah, man. So we're having a little technical difficulty, which I probably should have tested before, like I said. But while he's getting his other laptop booted up, let me say this. Lifting the Veil, I've been doing Lifting the Veil IT Academy since I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years, roughly, somewhere in there. Um, it's been a blessing. God has really used me as a way to really bless people to change their lives economically. What's up, Marvin? What's up, Jupiter? Tara, what's going on, Tara? How you doing? Let me say this. We've been able to. Oh, he back. That was quick.
What's going on, Tara? How
Yeah.
you doing?
Can you hear me now, Sean?
Um,
I'm getting some
we've been
feedback in
able
the
to.
speaker.
He back. That was quick.
I'm getting feedback in your speaker. Turn your speaker down.
Yeah, let me grab some headbuds though, real
Okay.
quick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So he getting some headphones. But yeah. So yeah. So let me say this, man. We're gonna go ahead and start really expanding what disciplines we offer. I want to offer all types of stuff. Cybersecurity. I want to offer it all, not just one subject. You become a subscriber at Lifting the Veil. You can jump into SQL. You can jump into business intelligence. I want to offer classes during the day, daytime classes, nighttime classes, lunch classes. Everything's pre-recorded. You can just have a library that you click and you watch when you want to. But everything, the real key to what's up, Thaddeus? The real key to Lifting the Veil is we're gonna do classes based on live interviews, live sessions, classes. Sean, can you hear now? I guess he's still trying to get his headphones. But as soon as he gets his headphones, we're gonna get started. But so I don't know what's going on with that. Oh well, he'll come back. But we're gonna start really trying to expand. This is so we've done Oracle, we're doing Power BI. These are first we started with SSIS, T-SQL, SSRS. Now we're doing SSIS, T-SQL, SSRS, Power BI. Also, we've done Oracle Financials, and now we're about to do Salesforce. So we're gonna bring different disciplines. I'm gonna bring all different types of people from my past. I'm looking at maybe doing C sharp. Somebody can come in and teach C sharp to the students. Somebody can come in and teach, so we can kind of bring all this together. Why would I want to do that? The reason I would want to do that is because, guys, when you're talking about training, right, as a developer myself, right, like let's say I get a job. Oh, he back there, but I can't get him up. I can't get him up. Okay, he back there though. As soon as he come up, I'll get him. But let's say you come in and you're trying to do a job as a Power BI developer or something like that. You don't know R scripting or you don't know Python. It would behoove you to be able to just click a video at night, click a link, and just go in and talk to a Python developer and say, "Hey, I'm working on this. how do I do this? How do I do that? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to expand to way more disciplines than just what I know. I mean, I was certified in Salesforce up until about a month ago, but maintaining it, I just didn't have time to maintain it. And I don't really do Salesforce like that. I mean, I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, but I ain't really like that. That's not really my main wheelhouse. But I want to get people that's what they do. That's what they specialize in. So he back there. He keep coming in. He just not coming up. But so I want to get more people in on this this training with Tableau. I want to do Tableau next. Tableau is easy, not easy, but that's the lowest hanging fruit. I got a few students that I think would be perfect for that they didn't kind of really got more exposure. They've got more exposure. You'd use it for a customer relationship management, Ricky? Okay. All right. What is this? TCM, the Cyber Mentor gives classes as well, YouTube. Yeah, so let me say this. I want you guys to understand. Okay, we got him now. Let's see if we can bring him up. Let's see. All right. Can you hear me now?
What's up? You there?
I'm here.
All right, man. You did that amazing. You did that amazing introduction, and then I fumbled the login, man.
Ain't no thing, man. Ain't no thing, man. Look, we run our loop. Hey, it's a turnover. We come back down, throw that lob, you back door. And one, baby.
Man. So I said, how do I live up to that introduction and can't even get on the YouTube, man?
Well, look, man, this is my dog, man. This is my boy. Sometimes you might see him. He might see him in my comment section, and we talk about different stuff. This is my dude right here. So
me and him way back.
Yeah, he one of the few guys that I actually would call a real friend that I have. That I didn't have for over 25 years. So that being said, let me say this. Okay, so you are a Salesforce what?
Yeah, so by certification, I'm a Salesforce administrator, but by title, I am a global sales operations senior manager for 2 companies. And so what that means is I'm responsible for empowering sales teams to be amazing, right? To sell the most they can sell for these companies. And I'm responsible for doing that through technology, as well as through training, and as well as through other things like actionable insights or intelligence, right? So the technology side of it encompasses Salesforce, and so we utilize and leverage Salesforce to help these sales teams sell as much as they possibly can, making themselves and their families a lot of money, and these companies a lot of money, which obviously makes everybody else in the company do well as well. So that's what I do.
Okay. Sounds heavy.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, why did you get into IT first? Then we're gonna do Salesforce.
Man,
why did you
so
get into IT?
Yeah, so I knew. So when I was younger, I had some direction. So there was a program called Inroads. I don't know if you guys have heard of Inroads. And Inroads was, in high school, if you're doing marginally well in your classes and you're showing some promise, a teacher could recommend you for this Inroad program where they take these kids in high school, they pair them with companies. And those companies then mentor these kids. So they come in and teach them how to dress and teach them how to, what's available. But the main thing they do is give them internships. And so you get an internship. It might be your junior year and your senior year, but then they also are committed to you through college, through all your college years, and then will promise you a job after that. And so that's where I was in. Most of the people that went to Inroads from my school were in fields like engineering. I was big into music. So I was going to Inroads to figure out, okay, well, if this music thing doesn't work, what would be my fallback plan? And I had learned a lot about, IT was popping back then. This is in the late mid 90s, actually. And so it was a big thing. IT this, IT that, computers this. And so long story short, I ended up going to Tuskegee to major in computer science. I loved it. I loved the problem solving. I love the attention to detail. I love figuring things out until it got to work. You remember, you were in some of those classes. And so,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
don't have that fun memory like you do.
I loved it, man.
Man,
And
Dr. Tim was a beast, boy. He was a beast. He had everybody stressing.
He did. And then I got to this one class called assembly language. And this is where you learn how to program just using ones and zeros. In other words,
225.
literally talking the computer's language, because computers only understand ones and zeros, right? Binary code. And so they wanted you to learn how to talk that language. And I was like, nah, I'm out. And at that time, I didn't have a mentor in my life to say, no, man, it's just a little rough, stick with it, you know? And so I took the path of least resistance at that time, which I do regret doing that. And switched over to sales and marketing, which kind of scratched my other personality itch. And so when I went over to sales and marketing, I graduated sales and marketing. And ironically, one of my first jobs was in computer science. A guy was running a company. Their company controlled prisons. So if you ever watch like a television show that has, you see the COs or the correction officers behind a big board with buttons and things, and they can open up the doors, the prison doors, or the turn on an intercom or lights from these control panels. Well, he had an idea. He said, well, what if we did this? But what if we did it through this new technology called a touchscreen? And what if we created a way to control prisons through a touchscreen? And he threw me some software and said, see if you can learn this. And I took it home, and over the weekend, I developed something and came back and showed him on a Monday. And he said, man, you're hired. And for the next few months, I developed the product, and we traveled all over the country installing these touchscreen control panels to control prison facilities all over the country. So I know you asked me why I got into IT. I kind of fell into it after trying to get into it first. I fell into it. Then I loved it, man. I loved how that technology that I developed out of my brain in my little office was revolutionizing how people were operating in their jobs. I mean, it was amazing. I would go there, and these people who were used to pushing buttons and connecting wires and things like that were absolutely amazed when I installed this touchscreen that could, paginate over left and right. And now it's common, right? We have touchscreen laptops, but back then it wasn't. It was like, wow, it's something futuristic. And I saw how technology changed how people work. And I said, man, I love this. And then 2008 happened, right? You don't mind if I tell the story a little bit, do you?
No, go ahead, man.
Yeah. So 2008 happened, and the Great Recession.
Bro, on my channel, I talk about everything. So it don't matter,
man.
Go ahead.
So the Great Recession happened, and man, the company I was working for during that prison work, the development work, everyone got laid off except for me, the owner, and the owner's son. And eventually, who's going to be next in that pecking order. So I was next, and they had to let me go regretfully. And that was a really, really tough time, because although I knew computer science, I knew how to develop. What I didn't know was how to market myself. And I was in Alabama, and I had this skill set, but I didn't know how to tell the world, like, yo, here I am. I'm in Alabama. I'm dope at what I do. Somebody hire me. And I have 3 kids, a wife, a house, all the bills and expenses. And so it became difficult. I couldn't find anything. And it was the recession at the same time, obviously. So it was a lot of opportunity that just wasn't there. So I switched back over to my sales and marketing degree and went into IT recruiting. I knew IT, and I knew how to sell, and got a job here in Atlanta at Robert Half, and began recruiting IT professionals. And that's where I really saw, whoa, this thing is so much bigger than I even imagined. Because there I was hiring people weekly, interviewing hundreds and hiring hundreds of people throughout the years, and meeting with managers at top companies here in Atlanta, and seeing how much these resources I was hiring were getting paid. So it was nothing for me to hire people making 70, 100, $150, sometimes $200 an hour. And that blew my mind. I hadn't had up until that point in time a concept of what was possible in terms of earning potential in this IT field. And that normalized high income for me. That is how it became a normal thing for me to see people doing well. And I'll tell you what really did it. It was at the genesis of the iPhone kind of taking off. And Coca-Cola was my client, and they wanted me to hire an iPhone app developer. And we were all like, well, what is that? Right? Because, what in the world is an iPhone app developer? And I went and met with them, and they explained it to us. And we want a person that can develop apps for us on the iPhone and the Apple Store and blah, blah, blah. And so I went and did the traditional search on the internet for somebody, and I couldn't find anybody because it was brand new. And finally, I was being creative. And I think on I can't remember if it was MySpace or Facebook. I can't remember what it was. But I found a kid. He was a 17-year-old kid who could develop. He had in his profile that he was playing with iPhone development. And I called him up and I interviewed him and I had a conversation with him. And he was a kid. He didn't know how to interview or anything like that. And they called him up. I called him up. I told him about the opportunity. He's like, I don't know. I got to check with my dad. I'm still in school. He's still in high school, all this kind of stuff. Long story short, Coca-Cola hired that kid for $150 an hour while he was still in high school. And that's when I was like, okay, this is enough. Enough is enough, right? So this kid's making the equivalent of $300,000 a year in high school because he has a skill set that very, very few people had at the time. And because he was playing around in it and learning it. And that's where I said, you know what? There's something to this thing. And it's all about having a marketable skill set that it's in high demand that people know you can do. And once you have that combination, the wheels come off, man. The sky's the limit. The roof is off and you can fly as high as you want. But it starts with having a marketable skill set that everybody needs that you have. And that's the key. And so that's how I got into IT. At that point, I was very successful at recruiting. I was running teams and starting divisions and things like that. Even started a Salesforce recruiting practice. I came across Salesforce, and this was a way to get back into technology, but not have to learn hours and upon hours of coding languages and all the really, really technical stuff.
You moving.
Okay. All right.
So hold on. So let's come up for a second. Now,
okay.
That was great what you just said. You said you like Salesforce because you ain't got to sit there in front of a bunch of like weird characters on the code. Like you got words you don't understand. What the hell does this mean? Like, what does this word mean? What is this? You got all these weird slashes, they different colors, and you got this platform where you're doing your development, basically code. You don't want to code, which I get. Trust me, code can be a pain in the ass. Trust me.
That's right.
Now, we both have dived into code with C++, and then I did a little Java when I went and graduated at Troy, and then I went to I dabbled. Of course, now I do SQL, and I see I dabble with the C# every day. Not C#. I dabble with XML every day because I have to make changes with my SSRS reports with Report Builder. So I open it in Notepad, change. I got to do all types of stuff, right? So in doing that, I find myself. I see why people want to get out of it and not get out. But I find that when I teach this class, I've been teaching the class for 5 years. I see people that come in, they have this gung-ho attitude about it. And I feel like this is where we can marry the two. Because if you could put Salesforce in there where they come in and they can start developing applications just in Salesforce through declarative programming. I'm going to let you explain all that. But declarative programming, which is point and click, drag and drop. And you boom, now you done develop the application. It's that damn simple, right? And so it's like you damn near, you know what I'm saying? You damn near don't even need a book. I mean, it's almost like, oh, well, it would make sense if I create this, then that would, you can kind of figure some of it you do need. We ain't gonna say some, a lot of it you do need training. This ain't, they don't pay $50 or more an hour for this, and you you just can look at it and figure it. It ain't like that. You need somebody. So don't
Right.
think you just look at it. But what I'm saying is, it's very, very much understandable and graspable, if that's the word. I guess it's a low hanging fruit. And I want you to expound on that. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. So, you know, kind of like what you said, when you talk about developing like code, right? Developing applications that actually use code in the way that this high school kid I was telling you about. I mean, that's a language. You literally have to learn a language that is an intermediary between the language we speak as human beings and the language a computer speaks. And so that intermediary language is called a programming language, and it translates between what we intend for that computer to do and what that computer understands. And so that language, those languages are always evolving, right? And you've rattled off some of them in this thing. Those languages are always evolving. So you have to be proficient at that language to be able to get the computer or the application to do what you want it to do. And so there's a lot of learning there. There's a lot of hours spent in learning. And then those languages are constantly changing. And so you're always learning and relearning and you know, how to speak this language. Well, there is a way to do the same thing without having to learn a language, right? And so a programming language. And so you can learn to develop applications or to get a computer to do what you want it to do without having to learn to code. And we call that, you know, declarative, in the sense that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish by clicks on a mouse, as opposed to typing code into some kind of compiler and doing all that sort of thing. And so that was a big game changer for me, because it was, oh, wait a minute, Salesforce. And let me back up a little bit and just say what Salesforce is. So Salesforce, in essence, is a CRM system, right? A customer relationship management system. And every customer, every company that has customers, right, should or does have a customer relationship management system. In other words, this is how they manage the relationship with their customers. Who buys from us? What do they buy from us? How often do they buy from us? Where do they live? How much do they spend? When's the last time we talked to them? How do we market to them? What channel did they come to us on? Did they buy our products from our website? Did they buy our products from our social media campaigns? You know, all of this information is captured in a customer relationship management system, or a CRM system. Okay, so at the foundation, that's what Salesforce began as, a CRM system. Now, since then, it has become an everything system. It is CRM. It is a marketing system. It is a customer service system. It is everything you need to kind of run your business from a customer-centric standpoint, right? And so companies from Fortune 5s all the way down to mid-size, all the way down to very small nonprofit companies use Salesforce. And I can even see in the comments, a lot of people right now are like, hey, yeah, I use Salesforce at my company. It may not be the main thing on your job that you're responsible for, but if you're in any kind of customer-facing company, usually they're going to have a CRM system. And at this point,
All
in
of
the
our tickets,
Salesforce,
we use it for our ticketing system. We assign tickets, and then we open the tickets up in Jira. It's weird. We do both.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so they have just, over the last 20 plus years, they have just skyrocketed because of exactly what I'm telling you. They have a product that can be utilized in all of these companies that doesn't take the level of technical expertise in order to build and customize things that solve problems for businesses. And that, it was revolutionary. And so it took off like wildfire, which is why in any major metropolitan city, you're going to see billboards and, you know, wraps on buses and things like that of Salesforce advertisement, because they have just blown up. And so I took advantage of that once I started learning that, and I started to see the demand for Salesforce opportunities. Sean, we need a Salesforce administrator. We need a Salesforce developer. We need a Salesforce this, a Salesforce that. And I'm like, guys, I can't find them. I don't know where they are. I don't know. There's not enough of them out here. I started seeing the shortage of talent on the Salesforce side, and I started seeing how much these companies were willing to pay anybody who had some Salesforce experience or expertise, and even if they were below the skill level that they were looking for, it's okay. We'll train them up. Just get them to us. And I said, aha, this is it. This is where I'm going to jump back into IT. And I did. I took a course. Actually, Sub and I took the same course. And it's similar to the course that we're about to offer. And we studied. We got in the trenches. We studied. We learned. We took the test. We passed. We got certified. And we went our different ways in terms of our courses. But for me, I landed my first Salesforce administrator gig. And that gig was, and I'm when I throw out numbers, guys, I'm not throwing out numbers in any kind of nefarious way, other than to be transparent and to hopefully be an encouragement to those who are wondering what's possible. Because the number I'm about to throw out may be nothing to some people, and it may be everything to other people. And it may be average for others. So the number doesn't really matter as much as I hope it is an encouragement as to what is possible. So this was my first Salesforce job after having just studied and really having not very much experience other than just being at a company that had Salesforce. And so I did a little dabbling with it on the side and things like that. And I landed a $130,000 gig on my first Salesforce job. And since then, my income has more than doubled from that point. As it relates to Salesforce and being involved in the Salesforce ecosystem. And so that's my story. That's why I got involved in Salesforce. We can go deeper. We can talk more about it, but that is
okay. So let me ask you this: are you on a laptop?
I am on the laptop.
So you have an instance you can log into?
I do not have an instance that I can log into that I wouldn't get sued for logging into publicly. Yeah. But
I see if I got one. I think I might still have one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They delete them after a while. So
yeah, they delete them after a while.
So while I'm doing that, let me ask you this:
Sure.
the declarative part, you kind of brushed on that, but I want to explain to people. I want people to really understand the concept. So,
sure.
Why would I want to take Salesforce if I'm completely naked? I have nothing. I've been driving trucks. I've been stacking boxes, and I want to get into IT. All this code stuff seems like Chinese to me. Right? Why is Salesforce different than the other disciplines?
Yeah. So right, from an IT perspective, right? So again, it goes back to what I was saying. With any technology, from an IT standpoint, if you're going to be on the IT side of it, because you do have users of the technology, right? There are all kinds of Salesforce people, Salesforce users. They just happen to be at a company that uses Salesforce to do whatever their job is, right? So it might be customer service, and they're just doing customer service using Salesforce platform. That's not going to be a whole big change in it from an income standpoint. But from an IT perspective, right? If your job is providing services within the company that are related to technology, then that's a whole big deal. You have to learn that technology. And for most technologies, particularly from an app building standpoint or an application building standpoint, because keep in mind, when you work for a company, there are problems unique to that company that need to be solved, right? There are what we would call use cases or scenarios that need to be solved within that company. So it might be something as simple as, hey, the sales team needs a way to access their prospects when they're driving their cars out in the field or flying on airplanes. They need a way to access their potential prospects so that they're not losing time when they're traveling, and they can still make their calls and prospect and sell to people right from their phone. Okay, well, cool. Well, if you're going to build that app natively with something else, you're going to need to know a language. You're going to need to know all sorts of things that, I mean, it's going to take some years of studying to get to the point where you're able to provide a company with an app that can do what I just described for their sales team. With Salesforce, I would be able to spin something up like that in a day, right? And without using any code, without physically having to go in and learn a language, I could point and click, drag and drop, and do things like that. And so that's the benefit to, if I'm coming over from a truck driver, right, or some non-technical field, you don't have to learn the basis of technology at its core for 4, 5, 6 years before you can begin delivering solutions to your potential employer. So that's the huge benefit. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying you don't have anything to learn. You'll have a lot to learn. Don't get me wrong. But it's a difference between learning things that don't include a language, that don't include syntax and all sorts of different things like that, that is going to be completely foreign to you. And you'll have to learn that stuff first before you can even begin starting to talk about solving the company's problem. That's just a totally different, we're talking about learning how to level up and leveling up.
Basically, learning the code languages like learning how to talk. Like,
yeah,
when you learn SQL, I tell my students everything I teach you is in English. So if I teach you something in an ETL data migration package where we're extracting, transforming, loading data, and I say, okay, you got to do this and do that, and I say, what does this word mean? Oh, it means this. So, but their mind has to snap. Like, I hadn't touched C++ in 20 some odd years, but if you say C in and C out, or if I say the word array, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
You know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Now, you don't have to learn that with this. I got this on the screen. Let me read this super chat. Thanks for the super chat, brother. He says, I always tell people that Salesforce has the best online community and self-education platform in all of tech and business. You are correct. We're going to get into that. We're going to get,
I was about to say, that's a great one.
He got his stuff already set up. I told him about this, damn near in April. So he prepared. So we're gonna be good. But let me go ahead. I hadn't touched this. I ain't been in here in a while. So I don't know what I'm doing because it's been so long.
That's funny.
But for example, if I wanted to develop an application, just a small application, something quick, what would I do? I know you can do that.
Well, you could do that, but it would take a few things from here that I don't know. I don't remember if these sandboxes are set up to do. But the first thing you would do is go over to the toolbar on the far right side, the little cog looking wheel to the left. Yep, you would go there and you would go into your setup mode. And in your setup mode is where you have the kind of the back end or the under the hood of Salesforce. And this is where you can begin to do all sorts of things from, designing apps, setting up users, doing all kinds of different processes, all sorts of things that may sound foreign, as we're talking about it now. But if you click on the apps button on the left side under the platform tools, down a little bit, down.
Oh, right there.
There you go. Yep. And you can click on apps manager and just click on it. I'm just going to show that within Salesforce, there are all sorts of different connected apps and different apps that you can use. And each one of these applications within the platform can be configured or created, or you can create new ones and different things like that. And so back here on this on this backside of Salesforce, this is where you would begin the work of developing different types of apps and things like that. And so, but let me say this now: app development is.
Hold on. Let me read Dunamis's super chat. He said, "Are there any IT career consult calls?" I do have it on the website where you can call and set up a consultation. Sean is he's real busy. He works 2 projects. He'll probably be able to give you a lot of consultation. I hate to say this. If you join the class, he'll probably be able to kind of, he will be able to give you all the advice. But the only person you probably could reach out and get a consult is me. And, but I'm about the only one. Of course, you can go to ltvacademy.com. I'm going to give you guys the link in a second if you want to sign up for the class coming up we're gonna have class on this month on the 25th. So it'll be July 25th. Class will start that night. But go ahead, Sean. My bad. Thanks for the super chat, Dunamis.
Yeah. So app development is just one small aspect of Salesforce. And this is what I didn't even understand until I started managing the Salesforce practice, which was, man, it's so big, it's so vast. And so much of what I personally do isn't even around app development or anything like that on the Salesforce platform. It's more around optimizing processes and setting up processes and procedures within this application to serve the businesses that I serve. And so, and I recognize like some of the language I may be using may be a little bit confusing if you're not in this space as well. But the point is, you know, you're looking at the back end of Salesforce right now, and there's nothing that any of you cannot read, right? Whereas if I went into another application or something like that, or if, you know, and showed you what's underneath it, you wouldn't know what you were looking at. It'd be a bunch of words and symbols and things that you would have no clue what you're looking at. And that's really
look, I teach this class, and I'm gonna show y'all Management Studio. I'm just gonna show you why this works for people. Now, I told my students that are taking my class now, a few of them are interested in your class, and I told them, I said, look, go ahead and master SQL, because once you rise up in the ranks of Salesforce, you will need, you know, SQL will benefit you. Understanding reporting, ETL and all that will benefit you. But I'm gonna just show like just a little quick stored procedure right quick, just to show you. And it's really just a nested, not a recursive CTE, but this is something that the students tend to, and I usually show this. This is now, that's the difference. It's a big difference. See there? There's a difference between this.
What is this mumbo jumbo on the screen? What I'm saying.
That's what the average Joe Blow would look like. Oh my God, what are they doing? What is this? You know, and so it's not, my students better know what this is, but that's another video. We got a problem if you don't. But what I'm saying is, you know, this takes time. Now I will explain it to you, and it's good because it pays very well. But if you don't have that, and you want to just jump in, look, man, you can have a GED come in here and just straight read. Okay, build CRM, customer relationship, analytics, dashboards, and apps. Oh, okay, so just build apps. Okay, so edit, what, you know, that's it. Mm-hmm. So this is powerful because it'll do all the work under the hood for you. Now that's like you said, that's just part of it. You can get, and you want that $200-300 an hour money, then you're gonna need to know how to code. But guess what? To start, that gatekeeper to get in that stops a lot of people from being successful is there's a learning curve, and I want to stop that. That's why I'm doing this Salesforce, because there are a lot of people falling through the cracks that could learn and benefit from learning this way. And so I'm like, you know what? I'd rather you come in, get this, get a job, get 100, get 80, get 90, whatever you're making, and then come back. Now you got money. Now you're working in that environment. You understand. Now you can dive into the SQL. Now you can dive into the reporting because you work in reports in Salesforce. You do all the same stuff. You do. I don't know what we used to call it. We call it ETL. I don't know what y'all call it over here. I forgot. Where you load data in with customers, or you doing the same thing. You just putting it in the cloud over here.
Right. That's right. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you there.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said is right. That's exactly right. So once you're in, right? So the biggest thing and the biggest barrier to really, you know, one of the things, you know, one of the concepts I kind of challenge is the idea that you cannot create wealth, you know, working for somebody else. And I understand where that comes from. I understand what that means essentially. But man, you can make a whole lot of money working for someone if you have a skill set that is marketable. And if you then know some particular plays to do to begin compounding your opportunities on and stacking them on top of each other. And so it is tremendous, but it starts with having a skill set. And so let me say that. Now I lost my train of thought. What were you asking me, man?
No. I mean, I guess now you saying, okay, the declarative part, the easy. I guess the main point of this video was really just to explain the easiness of Salesforce that I
Yeah.
actually love. I
Yeah.
think
So
that's the, go ahead.
let's talk about something else. And this is something I think the brother Phipps said about it has the most robust training
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
self-learning
yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta go to
ecosystem.
Trailhead. Yeah.
Okay, that is the other thing that made me go, you know what? This is the way to go. Okay, because most technology platforms that you have to learn, you got to go someplace, spend 5 to 10 grand to become entry level proficient at the technology, right? And that's no exaggeration. I'm even being modest when I say 5 to 10 grand. I mean, if you really want to learn and break into a tech industry, like you usually spend some
About 20
really
to
good
30.
money. Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah,
gonna
20,
spend some money.
$30,000.
Yeah,
I
you're
tell
gonna.
the students all the time, you're gonna spend about $20,000 to $30,000 to
Yeah, of
learn
course.
this skill set. Now I lost mine, obviously, but this is me right here. I got 26,000 points. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
I'm a little
mhm,
boy though. I used to be like up there but now people are really getting into it. But
mhm.
our barber, which we got to talk about him.
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I do want to talk about him in a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
But
But go
but
ahead.
to explain what they're looking at right now is Salesforce has a, and I want to say this with emphasis, a free learning platform called Trailhead. Now, if you think you're just going to jump on it and be able to get certified and all that kind of stuff by yourself, it may be very daunting because it's not as, there's some things you need to know, right, to go through it, and which is what the purpose of our class is to teach you and streamline making the transition into Salesforce, make it very easy, and teach you how to get certified and go ahead and be successful from there. And then give you some career guidance along the way. And so that's the huge part of it. But that withstanding, the platform itself, Salesforce has created a learning center to teach you everything on how to do everything on their platform. And no exaggeration, you can pay them, right? You can even pay Salesforce thousands. They charge you $5,000 to $10,000 if you wanted somebody to hold your hand and walk you through the stuff. But it's all on here, and it's all on here for free. And that was the most powerful thing for me because I said, wow, I can continue my education in Salesforce once I get into this thing for free, and continue to grow my skill set and to grow my marketability and things like that for free. That's a tremendous asset. And so the brother Phipps, you were spot on when you said that, because this is huge. And so what you see here, if you scroll up to the top, Bill, please, yeah, there you go. So, and you can see, right, it's gamified as well. So as you're completing courses and completing modules, they're giving you badges, and it tells you what kind of person, what kind of badge earner you are, right? The highest rank you can be is a ranger. That means you've earned more than 100 badges and have more than 100,000 points. And so it's tremendously helpful to have a resource like this, but then also you have a community here where you can see everybody who's learning, and you can see everybody who's doing things and asking questions and getting their questions answered, and it's all for free. It is one of the most underrated, unspoken, hidden gems when it comes to coming up, right, and leveling up. This website right here is absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, so okay, so let's kick the tires a little bit. So let's say
Yep.
go back to time machine. We go back 2000 whatever, and you're looking for somebody in Salesforce that does XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have Trailhead,
Mm-hmm.
you can find that person a lot easier, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to. Now, guys, I got this 26,000 points in like what, about a month and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and I was up there. I don't know what my ranking is now, but I was kind of high. That I remember I
Mm-hmm.
was at a Salesforce event. People, oh wow, that's impressive. I was like, really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, But that's what I'm saying. I mean, my
Mhm.
barber got north of 100 and something, 140 the last I talked to him. He was ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like one of the top in the world. Like he was no experience. All he knew was he saw me on my phone looking at jobs. He said,
Mhm.
man, how much you pay? I said, man, you can get about $50 starting. Really? Yeah. What you got to do? I told him I come back to get a haircut next week. He's staring at the screen. I said, he got the bug. He got the bug. He got it. Next thing you
Yeah.
know, he's like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get my cert, man. Studied straight, flat-footed, no teacher, no course, just studying books, videos, and courses. Passed the certification. I said, this boy
Yeah.
here, he different.
Yeah, let me comment on him, man, if you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Go ahead.
This brother, man. Yeah, so you introduced this material to. I have never met a more motivated person in my life when it comes to this information. Having having a desire to go from being a barber and getting into tech. This brother lived, breathed, and sleep this information, and it got to the point where how many certifications does he have now? 4, 3 or
Yeah, I
4?
think he approaching the architect level. He got to be big money. He got to.
Yeah, and so he has, for a period of time, he asked me one time he said, "Man, can I just come over and watch you work for a while?" I said, "You know what? Come on." And so he would come over twice a week and just sit and watch me work. He would listen to me as I was on calls. He would ask me questions when in between calls and doing different things like that. He was soaking this stuff up, and man, now he's more certifications than I have, and he's doing well. And so that's the kind of you know motivation you want to have when you're approaching this kind of change. Now, certainly everybody can't come and sit with somebody else, but that's where being a part of a course that like what Sub is offering here, to be able to have someone who's in the industry doing this from day in and day out, walk you through what you need to know, and then avoid the pit traps of spending too much time on the things you really don't need to know, and really being a tour guide and a navigator with you to help get you transitioned into this career path. And so yeah, so that brother is an amazing testament to what happens when you apply yourself and you decide you want to do something and you don't let anything stop you. There's another sister by the name of Tony. I met Tony in the mall. She was working retail in the makeup department, and just from our conversation, I could tell she wanted something more, and I actually hired her actually as a recruiter and began to teach her recruiting, IT recruiting. But I saw she still wanted more. And so that's when I started turning her on to Salesforce. And she began to go to the events and the community groups and, picking my brain and things like that. And eventually she got certified. Now she's making over 6 figures. Now think about that. Just a couple years ago, she was at the mall, and there's nothing wrong with being at the mall, but she wanted more. And she was at the mall working retail. And now she's making over 6 figures working from home doing Salesforce. And so that's the kind of transformation that this being a part of the Salesforce ecosystem provides. And the sky is the limit, right? You can continue your education. We always talk about 6 figures, like, hey, that's the mark. 6 figures is a very, very broad spectrum, right? That's $100,000 all the way up to a buck shy of $1 million is 6 figures, right? So where are we on that scale when we talk about 6 figures? And I'm telling you, I have personally employed people with the Salesforce skill set to where they are making smack in the middle of that 6-figure range, right? And now I'm not saying everybody will. I'm not saying everybody on this call or even anybody on this call will make that much. My point is the possibilities are endless when you have a skill set that is marketable.
I think the floor is 100,000, and I mean just in certain disciplines, not in all. And that's
Yeah.
where I kind of have been on some panels and kind of gotten attacked because I'll say stuff about certain disciplines and people get emotional.
Yeah.
And I get called, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'll be on panel discussions. They push the link out. I get into arguments.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like getting in environments where I'm getting in an argument with someone about it. My thing is, if you're going to get in IT, you don't get in IT when the floor is $40,000, $30,000. I just I don't want to touch a discipline. Yeah, you can make 250, but you can also make 35. I don't want that. I don't want it to be a chance that I'm gonna make under $90,000. That's where I want to, like, if I close my eyes and just point, I'm at least making $45 minimum. If you can't do that, then you're really painting yourself in a corner. Because guess what? I've seen people work these jobs for 4 and 5 years and they making $60,000, and I'm like, damn. You know,
So
that's not enough, man. In this day and age with inflation and things, you need to make enough money where you can make at least 100. Like that's the floor now. You need to make that to be able to just breathe and put gas in your car. You can't put gas in your car making $60,000 because rent's getting crazy, mortgages are getting crazy. So we need, as a people, to start really focusing on higher income jobs, which is why I believe in Salesforce. I've always told my students, and this you can ask any of my students, whenever I teach my class, they say, well, what would you advise? What discipline? I always say, look, man, once you take this course, you get a job, you make some money, fine. Then you can go and you can jump down the Salesforce certification path, and you can go into MuleSoft, and you can go into those different areas. And that's when you can start really getting to that $200 an hour, set where you can make this kind of money. The architect that I always go to right here, these architects make hella money, man, but it's not, of course it's going to take some work to get there, but our barber's probably right up in, he's probably got one of these already. He got one of these skill sets already.
And it's so funny you say our barber. That's the funny part.
I mean, I would say our barber.
No. I mean, but that's a testament to the transformation. You know what I mean?
Listen, this dude used to be standing outside with a sign trying to get customers off the street. Now he's making 6 figures just sitting at home in his underwear. I mean, that's crazy. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw something out there, and I developed this. And this is the type of information you're going to be getting in addition to Salesforce training when you enroll in the course. But one of the things that I teach, that for people who don't know what to shoot for, right, in terms of income, and they don't have, they don't, obviously you have your bills. And so a lot of times we limit our income, our desire for income, based on whatever our lifestyle is, right? Or our bills, or whatever the case may be. But generally speaking, as something to shoot for, as a floor to point towards, right? I say 3 times your age. Okay. So let's just say if you're 30 years old, right? And again, I'm saying this from a floor, not a ceiling, right? If you're 30 years old, I would encourage you to shoot for at least $90,000 a year, right? And again, that's a floor, not a ceiling. You want you to get as much as you possibly can, but you want to be, if you're 25, that would be 75 grand, right? And now that may say, oh man, 25 years old, 75. Let me tell you, if you shoot for nothing, you'll hit it every single time. You gotta have a number to shoot for. And so that may sound exorbitant. Oh man, how am I supposed to make 75 grand at 25? Or maybe I'm 45 years old and I'm making 75 grand now, right? That's, again, my goal is not to make you discontent with what you have. If you're content there, great. That's great. But if you want something more and you want to strive for something, you need some kind of parameters to know, am I doing okay in this particular range? Am I kind of on track? I would say 3 times your age. Okay. And that is just a principle that we teach to help you kind of gauge where you should be kind of shooting for from a floor standpoint. Is that helpful?
Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect. I want to also remind you guys that Sean has put some time in. He has his own. Where is it? I put that joker somewhere. I put my trailhead. Well, he's developed his own path, trail. What do you call it? Where you got
trail mix? It's called the trail mix, and that's one of the things that we'll be going through in the course.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. We gonna start class on June 25th of this month. Yeah. I'm sorry. God dang. July 25th. And Sean, how long is the class?
It's going to go for 3 months, so 90 days.
3 months. 90 days.
And we're going to take you through the entire, we're going to start at Absolute very beginning. What is Salesforce, and what kind of career paths would we have are available to you in Salesforce? What can I expect? What is this thing, right? We'll talk about all of that. Then we'll start getting into what Salesforce administration is, right? And that's kind of the basic level certification that you get, upon which everything else launches from. So the things you learn in your Salesforce administration class are the foundational blocks to everything else you need to know in Salesforce. If you don't know this stuff, you don't know anything, right? And so those are the things we go through. And we go through modules, and we go through projects, and we build things together, and we build, reports, and we build objects and
super badges.
apps, and we do all this stuff together, and we help you all along the way, get your questions answered, make sure you're doing things right. And we do it as a community, right?
Can I
And
say
so
one thing?
yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, guys. One thing about Salesforce that I feel like, Salesforce, Lifting the Veil Academy, that I try to characterize my academy with, we're holistic. We're not just the knowledge. You can go to some group of some Indian guys. No, not knocking them, but I'm just saying you can go find some guys. I know some people that'll give you a 8-hour lecture on Saturday, and they'll give you all the knowledge, right? And you'll have a quick ran through 1-day weekend course that'll give you the knowledge. Now when it comes to the interview, what you say, when they say this, what do you say? When they do this, what do I do? You don't have anybody, because those guys are in Bali somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And so you want to Delhi, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a holistic environment that is nourishing, of people that have come from where you are. That's what I always pride myself on. I created my course to give people, and Sean was a recruiter. I went through a company called Set Focus. Set Focus gave me the cracks of what I missed. My brother gave me some of it. Set Focus gave me the cracks, and then I just fell on my face until I figured it out, right? But the point I'm trying to make is I needed somebody there to help me. And I said, man, I wish somebody had told me this, man. I could have saved myself so much headache and heartache and pain had I had somebody that could tell me this. Well, you got a brother in this. Y'all can tell this brother's pretty sharp, knows his game, certifiable genius. This brother could easily, you hit him up in class, hey man, Sean, tell me, how do I do this? Why is this not working? Or what, the recruiter called me and they asked this question. What do I say? Because if you say the wrong thing, you're messing yourself up. I did it, right? And now I'm like, damn, I messed up on that interview. But I didn't know. You can skip all that, because I tell you while I'm teaching you, guys, do not say this in an interview. Do not do this. Make sure you say this. When you do this, don't do this, because this will happen. It happened to me. See, you get all that. You don't just get the knowledge. The knowledge, and a lot of us as African Americans will pay these money, go to these little boot camps, and your ass be working at a factory somewhere because you got the knowledge. You might even have a little associates from some little community college. You might have all these certificates, but you need more than that. You need understanding of the environment, the culture. What is a scrum meeting? Stand up. Okay, what do I say when they say, okay, are you running into any roadblocks? What do you mean? What am I, these different things when we're talking about production, QA, even though, and I'm gonna let Sean talk about this because I have never worked like fully with, I did a little bit, but not enough to be up here talking like an authority. And so I'm gonna let Sean talk about that as far as QA, scrum meetings. How I know you have meetings, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What, how does that look? Does it look similar to what I do?
Yeah, it actually does. So when you think about, when Sub is talking about Scrum and things like that, so there's a process that in IT that is followed, a kind of a standard process in order to get a project from beginning to end, right? To complete a project. And so there are all sorts of different ways. There's a waterfall method where it's like you do each stage and you don't start the next stage until the previous stage is done. But over time, that's been seen to waste time and money, because you get to the end of the last stage and realize that you built something that the user didn't even want, right? And so, so now there's this process called Agile, which is you iterate, or you continue, you build a little bit, then you throw it back over the wall to get feedback from the user, and the user will be like, the login was really It took a long time to log in. So now in your next iteration, you would fix that. You would make it a shorter time to log in and then do the additional features and then throw it back over the wall to get more feedback. So there's this constant feedback loop so that you can continue to improve what you're building quicker. And so when you get to the end of the project, you know that you have delivered exactly what your customer wanted. Your customer being the business people in your organization. You as an IT professional, your customers are the business people that you serve at the company that you work for, not external customers necessarily. Sometimes it could be, but more.
So you will teach them enough to pass the cert, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the whole course, right? You pass the certification. Now, here's what I guarantee: you will have all the information you need to know and the support and practice to pass that certification. But I tell people, just like I've been telling them for over almost 2 decades now, I cannot get you a job. I cannot give you a job. I don't even give jobs to people who I actually do hire for my own teams. I'm not giving them anything. They earn it. And I think we do ourselves a disservice by saying things like that. I don't give anybody anything. I don't get anybody anything. This is a course where you are going to learn how to earn your way at the table. And once you're seated at the table, your life changes, period. Right. But I'm not going to take away from you and put it on me and say, I'm going to get you to pass that certification. I'm going to get you a job. No. You're going to do all those things. And your confidence and your competence is going to go through the roof because you're going to be able to look back in a couple months and be like, wow, look what I did in 90 days. Okay. And that's really the benefit of going through something like this, is that you will learn not just the tech skills, right, to get into this new industry, but you're going to learn all those skills that Sub was just talking about in terms of, being able to interview, knowing what to say to recruiters, how to position yourself in your
Oh,
resume.
guys, let me
There's
say
so much.
Two things. First of all, Sean has over a decade as an IT recruiter, so you kind of cheat. He's kind of the cheat code.
Yeah,
He could
for sure.
he's the cheat code. He could tell you. He could probably prep you better than I've been doing this for what 12 years. He could prep you on the other side because he's back there with the damn hiring managers. He knows all of them in Atlanta. He know, oh yeah, I know so and so. He over there at so and so. Yeah, I know him. I'll be talking to him. Yeah, I know the guy. I met him. We went to lunch. Yeah, I know him. He's looking for. He probably, you know what, that guy. He seems like the type of guy that da 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 da. I said, oh okay. We used to have those conversations. Let me say this. That's the one thing I want to say. Secondly, guys, if it were me, now I don't know which way, Sean. I'm gonna let Sean answer this. The Salesforce administrator is the base certification that you see at the gray at the bottom. But according to my barber, the gentleman that was the barber, he called me like 2 weeks later and passed the platform app builder certification because he said, man, it was the same stuff. So you probably could go for the platform app builder, which is this first level right here on the left side. And if I'm gonna put work in, I'd rather be moving up towards the big money than just getting the base, because this is not going to count towards this. Now you'll be easily prepared to get this one. Now, once you get this one, now you're gonna start. This is a little bit more development, point and click, but then he said you're starting to get a little bit cold. Now, once you start getting up here, you're gonna start cold.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'll comment on that. My view on it is, because the information is so similar, I would start with the certified administrator, and then very quickly turn around and get the platform app builder certification. I think that's really the way to go. I wouldn't necessarily recommend starting with platform app builder to the exclusion of the certified administrator. You will have the knowledge to pass them both, really, and so I would say take them both. It's only going to position you better in to get more opportunities come your way. And I saw one brother in the chat says he has Salesforce, I think, on his LinkedIn or something like that, because he has it at his company, and he's constantly getting hit up by recruiters about it. And that is the absolute truth. I constantly, my LinkedIn inbox stays full with, hey, can we talk to you about this opportunity?
Yep.
Can we talk to you about that opportunity? I have a job here. It's remote. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to, can I please call you? And it's a game changer when you don't have to look for jobs. And you know where I look for jobs? I open up my LinkedIn and look at my messages. that's how I look for jobs, when I want to do something else or I want to add to my income. It's amazing, right? And so we're not even, again, one of the things I'll teach you is how to leverage different opportunities. Let's say your first Salesforce job is a $30 an hour job at a nonprofit company. Okay, $30 an hour is the equivalent of about 60 grand a year, right? So you take the hourly number, multiply it by about 2,000 hours, and so really you're just doubling that number and throwing 3 zeros at the end of it, right? So 30,000 an hour, $30 an hour, about 60 grand a year, right? And that may not be what you were shooting for, but it's a contract. It's a 6-month contract, and you can do it working remotely for 6-month contract. Oh, okay. Well, that gives you an opportunity to learn, and you can also take another 6-month contract. And now you got another $30 contract, and you got two $30 contracts. Now you're making $60 an hour, and that's the equivalent of $120,000 a year. And you're learning and you're developing your skill set, and you have 2 sets of experience to have on your belt. Now, this may sound far-fetched and like, oh my God, I would be going crazy if I had 2 jobs at the same time. Listen, we'll talk about all of that, but man, there have been times when I've had 3. Okay. And I know, Sub, you've had them too, right? And so you leverage these things, and these become learning opportunities. You're building relationships at different companies that you'll be able to leverage again in the future. So there's strategy once you get the skill set. But the first goal is you got to get the skill set. After that, the world opens up to you to be able to employ different employment strategies that we teach. There's contract to hire, there's permanent, there's just contracts, there's work from home, there's work on site, there's hybrid, there's all sorts of different ways that you can, there's 1099 versus W-2. There's all sorts of different ways.
And let me say this, because Marvin asked the question, you don't need, there's no install. Everything's just a login. You create an instance, the first that he going to walk you through it. You're going to sign up with your email. You'll be logged in and working like with it. Ain't no install. Ain't no, oh my God, I'm using Mac. I can't. No, you just need internet. You could be on a tablet. You could be on you pretty much can run an instance from a cell phone. I mean, it's that crazy. I was talking about this yesterday morning in class. I was telling the students, man, Salesforce, you get an issue, man. You can log in on your phone. You can all you got to do is have the credentials. They got all the apps and everything. You can go in and do the same work, do the same stuff on your damn cell phone. It's not like with me, I need my laptop to do what I do. But with Salesforce, bro, I'm talking about you just need the app and the credentials. You might, I don't know if you need a VPN or whatnot, but if you do, you can get that too. And you log it in on your damn cell phone. You know how convenient that is? You know where you could be? You could be in whatever country, doing whatever, on whatever beach, drunk. Somebody said, oh, we need, okay, done. And you sitting on the done beach in South Beach on Friday, drunk. And they ask you to do something, you just go do it. It's a great life, man. It's a quality life. I getting in IT was the best move I made, because it took me from probably being in Montgomery, working at a grocery store right now. That's what I'll be doing. I probably wouldn't. I probably started some type of business.
There's no way you would still be working at.
No, because I'm not that type of.
Your drive. There's no way, brother. I know it sounded good. It sounded good on the call.
Well, I was like this. I would have started something. I would have started something, knowing me. If it was just cutting grass, I'd have did something, construction, something. But that being said, I would have done something. So what this has done is afforded me comfortability to be able to say, you know what, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'll do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the super chat, Tara. She said, you always give 1,010% to your students. Thank you. I appreciate it. We go above and beyond it, lifting the veil. So this is, I mean, technically we got on about 5 or 6 instructors now, technically. I mean, that people that are actually considered, that I actually would consider instructors. Like one of our brothers just passed away by the name of Johnny. Johnny was brilliant, man. Brilliant brother. And just, died in his sleep, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But I got a few brothers and sisters that I use, and then I got my brother and I got Sean. You know what I'm saying? So, we do Oracle Financials, we do, like I say, database development, and we do Salesforce. And we, and of course, we're gonna probably branch into the cybersecurity. We're gonna branch into other disciplines. I want to have about 20 of them, and you just come here and you just, as a subscriber, you could take one in the morning, one at night. I'm taking cybersecurity at 12 noon for lunch every day. And then at night, I'm taking Salesforce. And then, you could do that. And then you just be a subscriber and we just keep it going year round. My brother's going to start back up next year. So we're really going to take this to the next level. Do you have your schedule planned out, Sean, or do you know like your nightly schedule, your weekly? How's that going to be?
I don't know that yet. I will plan it out. I need to get with my, to consult my calendar and all that. But I promise I'll get that to you to be able to get it to, to post it on the website and to get everything up and going.
I'll
but
put it
we
in the
will
comments of this video. Just be looking within another week. It'll be in there.
Yeah. And so we'll get you the information. But we're coming. We're doing this. We are committed to seeing folks level up, and are not just leveling up for level up sake, but for the sake of your families and your futures and your legacies and the things that need to be done in our communities, in our homes, in our families. And man, why not learn a skill set that is that is highly in demand, and a community that's extremely supportive. One of the things that we didn't talk about, and I'll answer this question in a second that just came up. One of the things that we didn't talk about are the local, regional, and national events that Salesforce puts on for continued learning. It seems like almost every month. And so, just here in Atlanta, there was the Southeast Dreaming Conference, and then in Dallas, there was I think it was something, I forget the name of that conference. And then every week there's like Salesforce Saturdays that meets up at different businesses around the city, and depending upon where you are. But in every city, there are Salesforce user groups and for you to go and be a part of. And no company, in my experience, throws events with as much grandeur and money and fun as Salesforce. In fact, their annual conference is in San Francisco every year, and it's called Dreamforce. And I've been there.
That's big. They spend millions on that.
Millions upon millions, and hundreds of thousands of people converge on San Francisco, all that either are looking to get into Salesforce or already into Salesforce, and they're growing their knowledge. It is an amazing experience that you will, there's no conference like it. So these are the sorts of things that you begin to get access to. Michelle Obama was at the last conference, and I'm not trying to be political, but I'm just saying that's the scale of this thing where you get presidents' wives.
When it comes to lifting the veil, I turn that off, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, the scale is absolutely enormous. And so that's the type of ecosystem that you would be involved in once you learn the skill set. And again, I want to go back to the point. You learn a desirable skill set, the world opens up to you. You don't have a desirable skill set, what you're left with is a bunch of excuses, right? Reasons why you rationalize your existence is the way it is. And you don't want to be there. So I encourage everyone to get a in-demand technical skill. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be some genius mathematician. You don't have to have gone to some school or have some kind of college degree. None of those things are barriers to get into Salesforce. Okay. This is a very easy on-ramp into this community. And the only limitation really is yourself. What do you think you can do? Right? What limiting beliefs do you have, right, that are keeping you back? That's really the only limitation. It's really always the only limitation, almost all the time. And so So I definitely encourage you guys to join this course, to learn with us, to grow with us, to level up with us, and take it to the next level. Now, the path is going to be to obtain your certified administrator certification, right? Your Salesforce administrator certification. The point we were making before is that the same knowledge that you need for the Salesforce administrator certification is used for the certified platform app. Well, and even before the platform app builder, there's what's called the advanced administrator certification. And so you really, with this knowledge, would be able to get your certified administrator course, your advanced certified administrator course, and then some of you would also be able or want to get the platform app builder course. Now, I want to be clear. You would be getting these certifications. We don't give them. We don't promise you'll get them. Any of that. I'm not going to strip you of that dignity and that those accomplishments. You would be earning those to the degree that you're studying and working hard and applying yourself and your knowledge and using the coaching that we give. And so that's what the course would be.
Yeah, so guys, I encourage you guys. I told y'all in for a treat, didn't I? Y'all been hearing me talk about this brother for about a month. I've been saying, man, I got a dog gonna teach y'all. Y'all gonna love him. So this brother, the way he talks like this is him. this is who he is. He talks like this all the time. He can give you all types of little interesting little tidbits of life and experience. He about around. He's not as old as I am, but he close. So he close, you know what I'm saying? So, this ain't, in which I actually like that. I like being my age. I like the wisdom. I like the time and experience. I like where I am in life right now. And I'm the same way. I'm sure any man north of 40 would still feel the same way unless he has a lot of resentment. But this brother is, I think he's going to give you his heart and soul just like I do. I always tell my students, I'm going to give you my heart, my soul. I'm going to lay it all out on the line. You click that link at 8:30 Monday through Wednesday for me, and then on Saturday morning, I'm gonna talk your ass to death. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk you to death. I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna share your screen. I'm gonna tell you to do something. I'm like, well, show me how you do it. Do this for me. Show me how you do that. That's what I did yesterday. I made students develop some packages yesterday. I made them do it. You know why? I said, I'm gonna drag you to the finish line if you show up. Keep showing up. Be consistent. Follow directions. Give me an hour and a half of studying on your own per day. That's what I always tell my students. Give me an hour a day, 5 days a week, and show up to class. Do what I tell you. You'll be good. But if you don't, and you think you're just going to come to the lecture, you're going to retain about 30% of what I teach. That's what you're going to retain. You're going to still remember some of it. But
it's deeper than that.
You're not going to remember deeper than that. Go ahead.
It's deeper than that, though, because if you're in the habit of only doing enough or only coming to a lecture, retaining 15 to 20, 30% of whatever, and that's the way you're going to work, right? And so let's say you get into Salesforce and you get into IT, you can't just all of a sudden be amazing. You can't turn amazing on, right? On and off as you please. Either you've been practicing being amazing all along the way, as hard as it may be, until you develop it as a habit. But you can't wait till you get a high-paying job and then all of a sudden think that you're going to turn on amazing. Nope. You are going to do what you've always done, and that is not be amazing. And then you'll be being terminated, and then you'll be feeling resentment, and then all those excuses and things start coming back. And so again,
that's my story. I got fired. I tell my students I got fired a lot of times because I really didn't love IT. I still don't, but I had to learn how to really, man, God just blessed me, man. I got in the right situation with the right working environment and right team, right management, and we have a good working relationship. That's it.
Yeah.
That has to do with the guys are ex-ball player like me, African American gentleman, and I like him. I actually like him as a person. Like, I go get a beer with him. He's a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how it works. And he talks to us like regular people. Your team, who you work with, your team, and how well y'all get along. This is something Sean told me when I kept getting terminated. And a lot of times I get terminated. I felt like it wasn't my fault. I still don't. But
Mhm.
a lot of times I would get terminated, and I wouldn't even be. I'll be disappointed, but I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't pull in my weight. I was not doing my job. They would give me tickets. They were taking too long. They told me to do this, have it done by Friday. It took me to Tuesday. You know, I was panicking. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand their business logic. I didn't play the political game of going to lunch when they wanted to go to lunch. The little thing that, and what I tell my students, right? If you're in a project, they go to lunch, smile, get to know people, laugh at the little corny jokes, you know, do whatever, right? But get to know people. And once you get past those barriers of personality and culture, because a lot of us as African Americans, culturally, we don't align with a lot of things in a corporate environment, but that doesn't mean you can't acclimate. Like we can't just be trapped into, I'm from the hood, I'm from the streets. No, I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. I used to be out hanging out with my homeboys. They were drug dealers. I wasn't, but but that doesn't mean that's where I'm going to be stuck till I'm damn 90 years old. That's stupid. We grow, we evolve as individuals, we learn, and we adapt. That's why God gave us intelligence. And so I think as time goes on, as this organization grows, we get more instructors online. They learn, they grow. We're gonna really start being able to really make a difference and come from out of the shadows in the sense of how I can get a company to say, hey, you give us your people. We looking for about 100 people. How many can you train? That's what my brother's actually paying recruiters to do right now. So hopefully he'll have some people and hey man, give us all your Oracle people. We ready. That's what he's looking for right now. Oracle and my training in Salesforce. I told him about your stuff too. So those people, hopefully one day you'll be able to come to Lifting the Veil and we'll be able to hand you right off to a company. At this point, we're not able to, so we can't make any promises. But he had a Q4, and I know this brother. He live in Atlanta. Good dude. Says the guru, he said you mentioned that there's a programming language with Salesforce. I know for a fact you need to know some SQL, but what else is there? Do you have to know as you go up the ladder? Not at first.
It just depends. It depends on what you're doing, right? So from a Salesforce standpoint, to your point, so there are some people who might be interfacing with Salesforce and be doing data related stuff. So for example, I have a senior data analyst that works for me at one of the companies. Her skill set, when I hired her, I was looking for someone who had Power BI, who knew T-SQL, who knew how to do SQL development and ETL. That was and knew Salesforce. So I needed somebody who knew and understood Salesforce, but then had all that data skill set, right, from a database development skill set to be able to develop some solutions for me and tie them into Salesforce on the back end. So that it depends on what you're trying to accomplish within the tool, and so.
Well, but I think some people came on later. The number of people has went up. I think when we was talking the first time about the declarative programming, it was like around roughly 22 people. So I want to kind of go in on this a little bit more. Guys, the main reason we're doing this Salesforce is because it's not, if you want to start at the bottom and get that little gray area, let me take this off the screen right quick. That little gray certification down here at the bottom, you want to get this one right here, this bottom right here on the platform. And you've heard me talk about architect before. When we're talking about coding, we're talking about up in here, up at near when you start getting near the top. But down here is mostly declarative as far as the certification for administrator and the platform, and then the one he mentioned about the super administrator. Those are declarative, which means that's not necessarily coding. That's point and click, drag and drop. This is probably the easiest, lowest hanging fruit if you want to enter into Salesforce, into the IT industry, and you want to make $100,000. This is probably the to me, because I've told this even before I had this class. I get on the phone and I do consultations, and I tell people straight up, if you didn't teach your course, what would you say is the easiest? I'm saying, well, the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. I mean, you still gonna have to work. Obviously, we're not talking about just work for 5 minutes and you were making 100,000. We're talking about putting in the same amount of work, but at least you can understand it. You ain't up here looking at some new foreign language that you've never seen. Like I showed y'all a second ago, you're not gonna be looking at stuff like this. You're not gonna be looking at this, which ain't that hard technically, but I can see how somebody that been driving trucks or never, they'll be, what the hell is this? But this is in order to get, you'll be looking at something like, where is it? You'll be looking at stuff like this. This is pointing you. All you gotta do is just look at it, and he's gonna understand. I don't understand none of this, but you definitely can't be intimidated by this. Would you rather work with this or this? You can get lost. You take this out. Look, if I get rid of this period,
oh yeah,
that's it. My whole world is gone. Now I got
not only that, but now you got to spend a day trying to figure out what's wrong with this code, right?
Yeah,
So,
God dang, man, what happened? Somebody saved it. Man, you don't know. It's crashing. You getting errors. You getting emails. That. Whereas with this, you still can have. I'm sure it can get technical, but what I'm saying is, coming from the street, I would have rather jumped into this. If I'm being straight up, I wish somebody had to just grab this and say, "Hey, go into this." Because guess what? You can learn this, get a job making 175 or more, and then you can jump out, climb this ladder right here. And by the time you really start getting technical and learning SQL and learning, because I do know Power BI, I know ETL, I know all these other things. Now I'm up in here. Now I can get that 100 or whatever. There is no SQL involved in this course at all. There's no coding involved. None whatsoever. No coding. You are not doing any code with lifting the veil when you come take this course. All you're doing is learning what he's going to teach you, which is how these things relate to one another and how to use them. I'm assuming that's how it works, Sean. Talk to me.
Yeah, So we're not learning coding. So let me answer another. So Salesforce does have a native coding language. It's called Apex, right? But the thing about it is most of what you do, almost all of what you do in Salesforce, you don't have to know Apex. They've built a layer on top of Apex code that allows you to be able to build apps and configure the system without using Apex coding and just using English and with point and click and drag and drop, right? And so as you're using your mouse, imagine just using your mouse and your keyboard without knowing anything. So to without knowing any kind of language to build apps and different solutions on the platform. That's what we're talking about here. So no, we're not learning how to code and things like that, but we will learn how to build solutions, how to build applications, how to build objects, how to do reporting, how to do dashboarding, how to administer users, how to set users up, how to different things like that throughout the process. And so we'll be learning all of that information here in the course, but it won't involve any coding. Now, when you so Salesforce, Power BI, T-SQL, that's big money. Now, the person I hired, she had just a little bit of experience. So I think I'm only paying her $120. But I liked I liked her personality and what she has to offer, and she's here in Atlanta.
Bro, you rich as hell, man. You out of touch, bro.
You're so silly, man.
About 120,000. I'm only paying her 120, but
Well,
that's pretty good. That's about 2,500 a week. That's pretty good money, man.
No. I don't mean that it's only from that standpoint. I mean only in terms of the potential of this.
No, I'm not. No, I'm being funny. I'm being funny. You ain't got to apologize. You ain't got to apologize. Look, man, look. What do I always say, man? I say I want it all. Damn it, I want it all.
Yeah.
We want $800 an hour, $2,000 an hour. We can get it.
There you go.
But if you're gonna get $65, $70 walking in the door, that sounds like when you said that, that's pretty much my skill set. What you just said.
Yeah.
But that's my skill set, but I got about 12 years of the other stuff. Plus, I don't have the Salesforce stuff. But other than that, so I would have been the guy to call on that. What I'm saying is, see that he's talking about off the street. He gave her $120K for that skill set. And all these skill sets, all my students, I didn't gave them to you. All you had to do was master them and learn them and study and practice. Had you been rocking with me. And then you could do the Salesforce. And you would be one of those guys like, man, this guy know enough to where he can probably get 100, 120, 110. Yeah, that's not like, especially with inflation jumping like it is now. I've noticed rates have jumped $20. I'm seeing a lot of people's rates have jumped. I'm getting emails now. Everything, it ain't just 50 no more. It's about 70. Just most of my emails are saying that.
That's right. Now check this out. This is talking about this young lady that I'm talking about here. Now I hired her. Again, she's working from home on a W-2, making that money. I don't know if she has other contracts she's doing or not. I know they're not impacting any of the work that I give her to do, right? And so I don't care. And so if in her position, and I want to say she is only I want to say she's either 28, 29 years old, somewhere around there. Okay. But she has a skill set, and it gets back to what I was saying. She has a skill set. Now, I interviewed people that have that same skill set that had a lot more experience than her, and they were a lot more expensive. And that's why I was saying I only hired her making 120. But that's because compared to people who had a lot more experience with that skill set, they were charging a lot more, right? And so, again, it all starts with the skill set. ServiceNow has been around for a long time. Again, ServiceNow certifications. If you're certified in ServiceNow and you know what you're doing, and that's something that interests you, yes, you can pursue that. I don't have any expertise there. When I was recruiting, yes, there were times I had clients wanting ServiceNow professionals. I can't speak to the salary. I can't remember how much those people made. I can't remember the demand. I don't remember getting a lot of requests for those people, but I do remember when I did, they were hard to find as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would definitely, you can always tell when a job is in high demand. Go on Indeed, do a search for that job, see how many positions are in your vicinity, right? Now, not nationally, but just in your vicinity. See what's out there.
I mean, let me say this, and we talked about this before. The scarcity of something makes it make you a specialist, and now you're talking real money, big. You're talking 200 or more. You know what I'm saying, a year. And I think that comes with just like it doesn't have to be new technically. I mean, look, if people would pay you. If everybody that knows COBOL is probably over 60 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For being straight up, everybody that knows COBOL, they 45, 50 easy, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the people now, they either know C#, C++, Java.
Yeah.
Those are the three languages most colleges are teaching. You're not going to come out. My brother was messing with COBOL in like the 80s.
Right.
So it's like people don't really mess with COBOL. So now somebody might be willing to pay for a mainframe or COBOL or stuff.
Yeah.
You don't find those people anymore.
Oh, absolutely. And but that's a different point. That's a great point, but it's a different point. I mean, even at one of the companies company I work for, we have Salesforce and all the latest, greatest technology, but our ERP system, our enterprise resource planning system, the way we get our products out the door to our customers, right? From a supply chain standpoint and all that kind of stuff, that system is all green screen. If you remember going into Sears back in the day and look at how the cash registers used to look like.
You talking about the war games type.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Man.
It's all 3D.
Oregon Trail. You talking about Oregon Trail.
Green screen. You can't even use a mouse on it. You got to actually type in codes and stuff to actually navigate that software. And here we are in 2022, and we're still using. There are tons of companies that have that. And so I would imagine, I don't hire for these people, but I would imagine every time we need a developer to make a change to that system, they are very, very, very expensive. I know that. I mean, because one of my projects is, hey, can we, as quickly as possible, move to Salesforce CPQ so we can get rid of that system, right? So that's
now that's going to be a guy with 25, 30 years experience. You think you're going to get him for $12, $15, $20, $30?
Exactly. No.
Hell no. You got to get his ass $90, $100. Minimum.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Working remote on his time, and he only wants to do 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, is there anything else you had or any other points?
No, that's it. I just want to encourage you guys, man. Life is a journey. Having a career is a journey with ups and downs. This is one of those crossroads, though, where you get to choose which way you go. And I'm telling you, not as somebody who knows this from just head knowledge, but this is experiential. My life has been changed by jumping into Salesforce and by learning a skill set, a high in demand skill set that I can leverage in whatever way I want, in whatever capacity I want, to make the kind of money I want. And this is, you're here, you're at that crossroad to be able to make that sort of decision right now. I highly encourage you guys to take the course and join the journey.
Speaking of the course, let me put the link up in the chat and in the group right quick.
Yeah, put the link up there. Highly encourage you. I look forward to getting to know the folks that do join.
I'm gonna tell you, man, this is the most fulfilling thing when you see people come and you change, and then they come like, "Hey, man, you changed my life."
Yeah,
it's almost like, "Huh, me?" Like it's my brother was like, "Man, this is fulfilling. I love giving back. I love helping these people." Yeah. It's a great, like, we as the instructors will get. It's rewarding, man, just to really pour back into people. We come from that discipleship background anyway, so you know how that goes. So I already got this Christ and his disciples way of looking at it. But this is our website. I'm gonna give you the link, and I'm gonna change the front copy, and the copy's gonna go ahead, Boo. Go ahead and take it. That's the link right. I thought I put it in there. I didn't put it in there. Hold on. Control V. There we go. So that's the link. What's up? Speak on it. That's the link right there, guys. Come to the website, sign up. I do consultations, but as you can see, I'm not really the Salesforce guy. So, you kind of want to use this video to watch it as a frame of reference, to really watch it and kind of take notes. If you got any questions, type them in the comments or email me at bg@ltvacademy.com or just sub03639@gmail. You can email me if you got any real questions, like long drawn out. Okay, I got a doctorate. I have people hit me up with an MBA. Brother got an MBA. I talked to him the other day, but he catching it. There's so many black people out here with MBAs. I've talked about 5 or 6 in the last, since I've been doing this course, and this is about my latest one. In just MBA and can't get nothing. Can't get nothing.
Yep.
I'm like, man, how you got an MBA and can't get it?
But it's exactly what we've been talking about. You have a lot of theoretical knowledge, but not an actual skill set. That's the difference. You have to have a skill set. And so, anyway, I just encourage you guys to join. I want to say this too. So I want to give you your flowers, man. I always try to do this, man. My hat is off to you. I appreciate you. Your community is super blessed to have you. I know your heart and just your commitment to your people. And you guys are blessed for having this brother teaching you guys the game and he pours himself out for you guys. Trust me. And to hear his excitement and his exuberance around you guys being the best that you can be and being able to be all that you can be in life. There are not a lot of people like him out there. So make sure you keep this brother encouraged. Make sure you keep him, appreciated. Like I said, there are not a lot of these brothers out here. So, man, I just want to tell you that you're a true friend. I'm proud of you, and I look up to you, man. So keep flying, brother.
Hey, same here, brother. Same here, man. Same here, dog. Same way. We look up to each other then. But guys, take the class. You're in for a treat. This brother is going to trust me. You'll be like, oh my God. Like, and then on top of that, you see how you can just bounce weird little, I don't know what the hell service now is. I've been doing this for 12 years. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But I was a recruiter. He's been a recruiter for 10 years. So he has a decade of talking to companies and they telling him what they're looking for and then getting people hired, and certain people don't get the job. He knows why they got it, why they didn't. He knows. He didn't walk me into projects. He walked me into a couple of projects, right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm gonna meet me out there at 9 o'clock. I walk in and introduce. He walk in and, hey, how you doing, Sean? I'm like, damn, he know the whole damn department. They all know him. So that's what I'm saying. This is not just some guy that been working in IT. And so, other people are offering courses, but damn it, you ain't gonna get this nowhere else. Let me say that. Anyway,
sell it.
God bless, man. God bless everybody. Hold on, you too, bro. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all later, man.
All right, y'all take it easy.
All right.